Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with women's basketball coach Christine Clancy, women's track and field captain Lizzy Stanton, and men's basketball captain Andy Kleinlein. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington Indley athletics. Men's and women's swimming closed out Cy Twombly Pool with wins over Catholic. Wrestling picked up a Centennial Conference victory over the Merchant Marine Academy. At the UNC Open, Shep Sims led the men's track and field team by taking first in the pole vault, while the women's team notched 2 of the top 5 spots in both the pole vault and the mile. Men's basketball fell 73-59 to Randolph, and women's hoops dropped a 70-46 decision to ODAC leading Lynchburg. With me now is women's basketball coach Christine Clancy. Christine, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
The Generals had a 5-game winning streak overlapping from December into January, but you're coming off a couple of tough losses. How can the Generals regroup from a tough week?
You know, I think we are disappointed in our last 2 performances, both home against Lynchburg and then at Eastern Mennonite. I think it's really shown us some of our mental weaknesses, some things that we really need to focus on in terms of our mental game. You know, just being a little bit tougher and dealing with the ups and downs that happen throughout the course of a game. You know, I think we're going to try to put a lot more emphasis on the defensive end of the court and really focus on being more consistent with our pressure and playing our scouting report and playing our matchups the way we're looking to, so that we can keep ourselves in games that way and let the offense come. I think right now we're just putting too much pressure on scoring the basketball.
How productive has the backcourt been for W&L so far this year?
They've been really impressive, and you're speaking about Emily Perzik, Jackie Clifford, and Taylor Casey. So got a senior, junior, and a first year. They're really stepping up. They've combined for about 40 points a game, and I think about 7 assists per game. So they're doing a phenomenal job. All 3 of them can score in a variety of ways. They can hit threes, they can pull up, they can take you all the way to the rim. So they're really hard for other teams to guard.
You've had to deal with what seems like a disproportionate share of injuries so far this season. From a coaching perspective, how tough has it been to juggle the lineup so frequently?
You know, it's challenging just not knowing day by day who's going to be in practice or who can do what drills in practice, who's going to be cleared for games, how much we can use them in the game. So we're always trying to figure out who's healthy and what we can get out of each player in terms of minutes and contribution. And so the rotation is constantly in flux right now. I think the biggest challenge for me has been, as I approach each game, I can't think of rotations just in terms of that game. I need to be thinking about more than just that one game. I need to be thinking long-term in the season in terms of being ready and being healthy in February.
The goal is to be playing your best basketball when the ODAC tournament rolls around. Now, what do the Generals need to do to make that happen?
Some of the things that we've already talked about in terms of, you know, really improving our mental game, focusing on the defensive side of the basketball, getting healthy obviously would really help. If we had our full lineup healthy in February, that's going to be a game changer for us. But when it comes down to it, basically we need to learn the lessons that the season has taught us already. We've played some of the top teams in the country early in the season. We've had some tough losses recently. If we can learn from each of those experiences and put it all together at the right time, you know, I think that we're going to have the experience under our belt to make a run in the ODAC tournament.
Christine, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the year.
Thanks for having us.
Here with me in the studio is Lizzy Stanton, senior track and field captain from Papillion, Nebraska. Lizzy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
The Generals have competed in 2 events so far during the indoor season, including the UNC Open over the weekend. What have you learned about the team thus far?
I've learned that we're really motivated and dedicated and willing to put in what it takes to reach our goals of winning indoor and outdoor ODACs.
Last year, you won both the indoor and outdoor ODAC titles in the pole vault. You also broke both W&L records in the process. What kind of personal goals have you set for your senior season?
Well, first of all, I just want to have fun because pole vault isn't really a sport you can continue recreationally. So, yeah, I just want to have fun, and I also want to break 12 feet and qualify for nationals.
Several first years have contributed to the Generals so far this season. What have those new athletes brought to the program?
They have definitely brought a lot of skill in all areas of the team, and they've brought a lot of energy, so I can tell that they're going to do what they need to do to help us reach our goals.
Looking ahead, the month of February is going to be a very busy one for the Generals. It concludes with the indoor conference meet. What are W&L's goals as you prepare for the ODAC championship?
Like I said, we want to win indoor and outdoor ODACs, and we want to focus every day on what we're doing on the track and outside the track to get us where we need to be to achieve those goals.
Lizzy, thanks for joining us. Best of luck throughout the year.
Thanks.
I'm joined now by Andy Kleinlein, senior basketball captain from Chesterfield, Missouri. Andy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Following a 1-7 start, the Generals have won 5 of their last 7 games. What's led to the turnaround for W&L?
I think that winter break was huge for us. It kind of gave us a chance to reset. We started off with probably 4 or 5 straight good practices before we went down to Daytona. Kind of picked it up from there, had a couple tough games, won one of them, and we started to believe in what we do. And I think it just started on the defensive end, just getting stops, and then that translated over to offense where we were taking care of the ball, just doing the things that we needed to do.
You've had 3 20-point games during the stretch of 5 wins in 7 games. You had a career high 25 in a victory over St. Mary's in the W&L Holiday Tournament. Are you looking to attack the rim, looking for your shot a little bit more on the offensive end?
I wouldn't say my mentality's really changed. I think it helps a lot when Clayton and Devin are playing well. Kind of opens up the offense and makes us pretty dynamic. So I just let the game come to me and then see where the opportunities are. But I think it's just kind of shows that we're focused offensively and anyone can step up any day.
W&L seems to be at its best when you're locked in on the defensive end. We saw that in a big win over Emory and Henry last Wednesday. How important is it to maintain that kind of intensity as you get into the meat of the ODAC schedule?
I think that's the most important thing for us. Like I said earlier, it kind of translates over to offense where if we're getting stops, making the offense work every single possession, they're a little bit more worn down when we come down the court so we can get better possessions. So it's very important, and teams get frustrated if you keep wearing them down like that.
4 of your next 5 games are on the road, starting with Eastern Mennonite on Wednesday night. What do the Generals need to do to be successful away from home?
Just the things we talked about, getting stops defensively, being very focused, taking care of the ball. I think that's where it starts, but it's hard to go out and win games, especially on the road during the middle of the week. So we just got to come in focused and ready to go.
Andy, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the year.
Thanks for having me.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. The track and field teams travel to Lynchburg for the Liberty Kickoff, which starts on Friday afternoon. On Saturday, wrestling heads to Collegeville, Pennsylvania for Centennial Conference matches against Ursinus and Muhlenberg. Men's and women's swimming will also be in the Keystone State to wrap up the regular season against York College and Marymount. Women's basketball takes on Bridgewater on the road, and men's hoops visits Roanoke. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.